Hello ladies and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, sekonoandie, where I talk about feminine energy, inner healing and becoming the best version of yourself so that you can live your best life. And if that is something that is interesting to you, please click the like button below, subscribe to my channel. Let's heal and let's grow together. Ladies, if you're in Cape Town, it's hot, really hot. So I am having my glass of water here because the heat is unbearable. So let's dive in without wasting any time. I met a man. I was at a shop to buy a tea, a shop that only sells supplements and teas and everything. So this shop is always empty. So when I was done paying, the cashier said to me, "Please, can I ask you your opinion about something that is related to women?" I said, "Oh, okay, you can ask me." This man is I think he's 49 or 50. And then he goes on, he tells me that I got married for wrong reasons. And then I got divorced. And now I am courting someone, I'm seeing someone who is in a process of divorce. She has a child. What are your opinions? What are your thoughts about this? Ladies, we all have been in a place where ugowisha utikomkeki in such an extent that uzothetha ne-stranger endleleni because akakwazi anyway. I've been there and I know you know what I'm talking about. I was that stranger to that man. And I did give him a safe space for him to open up and talk. I did, right? So the first thing that came to my mind when he was telling me about the story, him getting married for wrong reasons and now seeing someone again, what came to my mind was my life previously 15 years back, where I was also getting in relationships. Those relationships were not good for me. It was like there was abuse in a relationship, emotional abuse. It was not good. The relationship was not supporting me. It was just a toxic relationship. I was into those relationships because back then I was toxic myself. I always say, if you're in a toxic relationship, there's a part of you that is toxic. So it reminded me of my life and me. Now I kept on getting into those relationships because of my upbringing. I grew up in a very toxic environment, in a chaotic home. So it was that is why I kept on attracting relationships like that. I kept on attracting relationships like that. So that man reminded me of that. And I felt so sorry for him because the man is about 50, if not 49. And he's in a cycle of getting into relationships for wrong reasons. He's in a cycle of getting into toxic relationship. Why? There's a part of him that has a very toxic behaviors. I don't like saying men are toxic or women are toxic. There's a toxic behavior in him. That guy might not have mentioned to me the wrong reasons he got married, but he said, I got married for wrong reason. But one of those reasons, he felt sorry for that woman. Secondly, he wanted to be there for that woman, support that woman, which is nothing wrong with that. But what's wrong is the intention of taking care of that woman, supporting that woman, being there for that woman, on top of feeling sorry for that woman. The real reason is that he did all these things so that this woman can be indebted to him. This woman can repay him for what he did by being in a relationship with him and marrying him and being there for him and make sure that she does not leave him. That is control. And that is a toxic behavior. Toxic behavior, ladies, we don't only see toxicity with people who killing people, beating their wives. No. They are very toxic traits. They are very toxic behavior. And shame, man, I don't know, but I wish I could have stayed longer and have a conversation with that man, but no, I couldn't. The only thing I told him is that you need to learn your self-worth. You need to learn your self-worth. And I said, yeah, I know my self-worth. I'm like, no, Even myself, when someone said to me, you need to learn your self-worth, back then 10 years back, I said, oh, okay, I know my self-worth, but deep down, I didn't feel worthy. It's not about you learning or memorizing or affirmations. It's about you feeling worthy and deserving of an abundant life, feeling worthy and deserving of being in a healthy, supporting relationship. It's about you feeling worthy. You know, if you don't feel worthy of being in a healthy relationship, you're never going to attract a healthy relationship. If you don't feel worthy and deserving of an abundant life, struggle is going to be your best friend. You're never going to have financial freedom because you don't feel worthy and deserving of that. It's just a desire that you have, you know. So, like I was saying, ladies, what I notice is that the guy has a very toxic trait in him, a toxic behavior of control. You know, I also was once in a relationship like this. I got into that relationship for all the wrong reasons. At least I didn't get married. I was in that relationship for wrong reason. I was scared of being alone. I'm like, I'm going to take advantage of the fact that this man is unemployed. He's miserable. He's scared about life. He's going through a lot of things, even himself. And Mina, I was like, okay, at least I have a business. I'm going to be able to support him and be there for him and do everything for him so that he's not going to leave me. He's going to be there for me and never, ever even cheat on me because he is depending on me. How many women who get into such relationships, how many women who get involved in relationship and even get married for wrong reasons? Some, they get married for identity because they don't know who they are. Some, they get married for identity. They get married for status, for security. You cannot do that. Marriage is not like that. Marriage is a holy, sacred communion. Now, when you're getting married for security, for status, for all the wrong reasons, that marriage will not be able to withhold and stand firm against the trials of marriage, against life, you know, because you got into it for wrong reason. Anyway, let me come back. Like I was saying, ladies, I was once in that relationship myself, and it was all the wrong reason. I was scared of being alone. Why? Because I thought that life is some giant animal that wants to devour and destroy me. Life was just difficult for me because that was one of my beliefs, that life is difficult. Life has to be difficult for me to get anything. So I was scared of being alone. I was scared because I was once love-starved as a child. I was neglected as a child. I was not loved as a child. You know, I didn't get all this support. So I'm like, let me hold on to this man who just smiled at me, and let me do everything for him so that he's never gonna neglect me. How many of us women who get into these relationships, you know? It was just a shock to me to see a matured 50-year-old man in that toxic cycle of relationships. I mean, it was really shocking. So, there's something called revenge diaries on TikTok. I'm sure you've had it. Another diary, another drrrr. I'm sure you've had it. If you're in South Africa, revenge diaries on TikTok, you know exactly what I'm talking about. What they do in the women write to that content creator letters of things that they have done to their ex-boyfriends, revenge that they've done to their ex-boyfriends who cheated on them, who abused them emotionally, physically, financially, and now they revenge themselves. They write to this guy. The guy is gonna read the story and everything and everything and everything. I don't have a problem with that content creator or his content. No, by all means. However, I personally don't relate to that anymore. I don't relate. Back then, I would understand because I myself 15 years back, I only attracted bad boys. People abused me. People were toxic because I was toxic, you know. So I don't relate in that anymore now. Why I'm mentioning this, ladies? Because women who watch that thing, they even call it the school of revenge diaries, you know. And by all means, I kind of watched it as well with my husband at times, but I just didn't relate. I didn't relate. We're watching these things, we're laughing about these things, but the women who are in there, who keep on doing those things and watching and consuming that content, there's no way you're gonna attract a healthy masculine man. You watching that kind of content, you're watching that kind of content. It's like you are learning on how to revenge yourself or how to protect yourself from a toxic man or a toxic partner that you're gonna attract. You're still gonna attract that toxic partner because there's a part of you that is toxic. If there was no toxicity in you, you were not gonna be writing those letters, or you were not gonna be consuming that kind of content. Please, by all means, I love that content creator. He is fun. There's nothing wrong against his content creation or what he does. But I'm talking about a woman here who desire to be in a really healthy relationship. That kind of content cannot be existing in your world. You can be watching movies where women are being beaten up, being abused, where marriage are being destroyed because of fornication, where marriage are just being destroyed. You cannot be consuming those kind of content. If you really want to be or attract and be in a healthy relationship is life-giving. And a toxic relationship it drains life out of you. So stay away from content like that, from consuming that kind of content. Now, point number 2, change the way you are. First, point number 1, if you want to be in a healthy relationship, you need to stop consuming that kind of content. You need to stop watching those movies. You need to refrain from that. Point number 2, you need to start working on yourself. Remember the saying that says, you attract who you are. I always say that. You attract who you are. There's no way on earth, if you are really a healthy feminine woman, you're going to attract a toxic masculine man. It doesn't work like that. It does not work like that. You keep on getting into same kind of relationship that mistreats you and abuse you. Why? Because you don't exist for a healthy relationship. Why? Because you are toxic. There's a toxic behavior in you. Now, when I'm saying take care of yourself, I mean take care of yourself. Exist for yourself. The people don't exist for themselves. They only exist for other people. What do I mean? That people are so invested in people's problems. Why I'm saying this? Because I was one of them. I was so invested in people's problems. I was working, having a business, but I was invested in people's problems. I didn't exist for myself. That's why I was mentioning to you ladies that I was once in a toxic relationship myself. No, in a relationship where I got into that relationship for wrong reasons. It became a toxic relationship because I was toxic myself. I got in there for wrong reason, for control. I wanted control. I was like, okay, I have a business that gives me income. I'm a real estate agent. I have a business that gives me income. This man has nothing. So, okay, let me take care of him and be there for him and support him so that he's never going to leave me. He's going to be there for me and never cheat on me and never leave me alone. Why? Because I was neglected and love-starved as a child. That is control. I was trying to control him. Control is a toxic behavior, So, what I wanted to say, ladies, I forgot my point. Oh yeah, so I was saying work on yourself. You have to work on yourself. You really have to work on healing the childhood traumas. Go back, take the inner journey. Go within. When I'm saying work on yourself, I'm not saying go and buy a new wardrobe, new hairstyle. That is taking care of your appearance. No, I mean take an inner journey. Why do you have a lot of insecurities? Why do you think other people are beautiful and you're ugly? Why is that you don't feel worthy of having beautiful things? You don't feel worthy of having a man taking care of you. Why? Get in. Watch my videos. I'm here. Send me an email. I'm here to guide you and help you and coach you if that's the case. You have to heal. You have to heal and become the best version of yourself. Now, when you are the best version of yourself, you're going to attract a man who's busy working on himself to become the best version of himself, because you attract who you are. That's just how it is. You attract who you are. So work on becoming the best version of yourself. That's point number 3. Number 2. Number 3, remember this. Number 3 is just a reminder. When you're working on yourself, you're working on yourself for you, for your life, for you to have a fulfilling life, not for you to attract a man. That is going to be tiring and exhausting. You're working on yourself so that you can live a fulfilling life, so that you can be confident in your body, confident in your skin, confident in yourself, and becoming a high value woman. You know, not for you to get a man. You're doing it for you and your family and people closer to you. The man, you're going to cross that bridge when you get there. Right. Now, ladies, this was a very short video. The last point here is how you know that you are ready to be in a committed relationship. Right. First of all, you know who you are as a woman. You know your value. You know your purpose as a woman. You don't go with the crowd. You don't get involved with people or in groups because you want to belong. No. Or you want to have an identity. No. Like I said, there are people who get married because they want to have an identity. They want security. They want to have financial freedom. They want it's all the wrong reason, and such relationships or marriage will not last or withstand against the trials of life, you know. So like I said, here's how you know if you're ready for a relationship. You know who you are as a woman. You know your value as a woman and your purpose. You know who you are. You know who you are. The last point here is how I knew. It's how I knew that I was ready to get married to my husband. I had love within me. I got married to him because I wanted to love him, be there for him, support him. Right? Love, you don't look for love. Love comes from within, from above, from God to you. You have love. Love comes from within. You can't look for love outside of you. You can't look for someone to love you, to make you happy. It does not work like that. If you're looking for someone to love you, to make you happy, to support you, you are not ready to be in a committed relationship. Right? You're not ready. At least to get married. I can say maybe you can get in a relationship, but to get married, no. You get married because you want to love someone, to be there for him, to support him. And you also gonna find someone who's doing the same thing, who's looking to, my husband married me because he wants to love me. He wants to be there for me. He wants to support me. So we meet each other halfway to make each other, we serve each other humble in love. You know, I want to love him. He wants to love me. That's why we got married. He wanted to support me and I wanted to support him. I wanted to make him happy. He wanted to make me happy. That's how you get married. If you're saying you want to get married because you want to be made happy, you want to be loved, you're still miserable. You need to be happy within yourself. You need to be happy by yourself. You need to know that love comes from within. You don't look for love outside of you. Love comes from within, from God to you. So I was ready to share the love that I have within me with my husband. That's why I was like, yes, I will marry you. I was ready to share the love that I have with him. I wanted to share this overflowing love that I have with him. I'm here making these videos, ladies, because I love you so much. I'm here sweating. It's hot in Cape Town. I'm making this video because I love you. I'm sharing the love that I have within me, with you, you know. So ladies, this is all from me. That's all from me today. Please share the video with your friends and your family. Share the video with your friends and your family. And I am going to see you on the next one. I love you so much. Please take care of yourself. Right? Bye.